show you this, and so there's that.
I waited over half a year for my Analogue Pocket to finally arrive. Was it worth waiting that long? I mean, the element of the fear of missing out. You know the fear of missing out, right? You see everyone have it, they got their pre-orders, they got it on lock. You see have your friends who are reviewers who are getting these products sent to them for the purpose of a review. I'm not at that level, however, it's very cool to see one of these. And wouldn't it be cool to have one of these too? I got it on the pre-order as soon as I could, and I still have to wait even longer because my personal pre-order isn't even pre-ordered yet. I'm still on the wait list. I got this via a trade, so thank you very much. But still, compared to the rest of the world who has these and they're posting them and they're showing pictures, it's like, oh, how cool does it look? How clean does it look? I didn't have one, and that's okay. I still don't have the analog Nintendo or Super Nintendo. I'm looking forward to that TurboGrafx-16 one. I can't wait, although that's probably going to be another 5 years or something. But the Analogue Pocket, come on now, the Analogue Pocket. Play Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. With the adapter, play Game Gear, and future adapters that should do Lynx and TurboGrafx-16 and stuff like that, man. I love things. I love the portability factor. I love Game Boy games. I love Game Boy Classic and Color games. I love Game Boy Advance games. And it's probably just me. Maybe it's just me. Playing Game Boy games on a television isn't the same. I can't place my finger on why. It's the same game. But I don't know if it's just because like the text is bigger. I don't know. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel the same. So I really would... I'm getting choked up just thinking about it. I really wanted to have one of these. And I was still on the wait list. And I was like, well, when it happens, it happens. And fortunately, what happened was somebody reached out to me saying, hey, I do have an extra one. If you're curious or if you're interested, we can do a trade. And even before that, I reached out saying, hey, if anybody ordered 2 of them and they're looking to pawn off one of them, well, I heard from a few people, but they were all looking for like trade in, trading up, you know, the resell type of thing. It's like, I'll buy one at retail when I can buy one at retail. You know, please sell yours for more than you paid for it if that's your job, but I don't mind waiting. So thank you for the trade. And now that it's been out for a while, there's already those little updates that you can like add new stuff onto it too. Well, I haven't even done that yet. We might look at that here in a little bit. I just realized that the screen is coming apart just a little bit. Oh, because I haven't even done this part yet. Satisfying. Here we go. This whole time. Didn't even realize that was there. Watch me sneeze on it immediately. Get the stuff right on there. All right, I have a proverbial... See, listen to this. Hold on. It's just a box of random Game Boy, Game Boy Color. There's a couple of Game Boy Advance games in here, some Game Gear games as well. Listen to the sound right here. Come on now. You can't do that sound with digital games. Let's have a look to see what it looks like from my point of view, from my angle, and find out if it was worth it waiting that long. Knowing that I have a Mister, a Raspberry Pi. I have a Game Boy Advance SP. I love my Game Boy Advance SP. Don't have a Game Gear that works, and if a Game Gear, I mean, I have like the LCD, whatever. But let's check out a few games, and let's also see some of the functionality of this thing to find out if it's like, you know, if you can remove that fear of missing out. Now, of course, it's easy for me to say that because I literally have one now, but I wasn't gung-ho about getting one. I wanted one, and I still want one, and my pre-order that I still have, I still plan on buying it just so I can use that in trade or something. Or maybe I'll put it on Whatnot, I don't know. And there's some cool features on here too. There's some cool options on this that make it look like different kinds of games. Well, let's have a look. I mean, simple enough, really. You just pop it in just like that. Does your Pokemon Yellow also have that yellow that faded right there? Yeah, very cool. All right, let's have a look. I'm gonna hold this button here. Do I just tap it? Tap it. Wake, wakey, wakey, and I tried to wake up the game that was probably already in there. Play cartridge. Here we go. Error. Well, that's never a good sign. All right, maybe there's something wrong with my game here. Little open cart surgery for the future? Not a problem. All right, kicks it is. Oh, that was quick. I just popped it in and immediately started working. As it should. Now, that screen looks pretty crisp, I'll be honest with you. No, I love, love, love this game here. And again, here's how you play this game. Actually, hold on. I better hold on to it proper. One button makes you move faster. The other makes you move slower, but you get more points. Just trying to box him in. Oh, go back in there. He'll be funny. Go back in there. It'll be hilarious. So now that he's boxed in there, you just have to move your slow piece over, connect him. Ta-da! Anyway, love, love, love this game. And the L and R buttons don't do anything on here. I love it. That's why. Ah, here's a good one. Spanky Squash. You know they made Spanky Squash for the Game Boy? So here's what the title screen looks like by default. And it'll give you frame blending, sharpness, stuff like that. Display mode. Have it be like analog Game Boy Color or the original Game Boy Color. The original Game Boy Advance or the original SP101. Then you have color palettes on the Game Boy, so that's kind of nice. So you have your grayscale. You have mint, blue, green display mode as well. You also have like your DMG. Here's the classic. Look at this. That's the way it should be. Oh man, that looks amazing. So like Spanky Squash, instead of it being like different sports balls, you have to like bounce it on your head, and then when you're ready, hit the button, and it'll give you a different thing that you can use here. While it's doing that, let's see what else we got here for this. Video, display mode. You have Game Boy Pocket, and I did play a whole lot of my Game Boy Pocket here. It's about right. Oh, look at that. Didn't even intend it. Got them all. Why am I spinning? Or the original light. Pinball Neon Matrix. Virtual Boy? What are we doing here? Now, if I pull the game out while it's playing... Okay. Well, he's talking about a red screen of death. Look at that. They are not happy about that. And we're still on that other platform here. But this is Game Boy Color. Display mode. And you can do either the analog, which does give it gives it a little bit more bright. Original Game Boy Color, you're gonna get the little dots in there. This one, it's gonna remove all that. So whether you like it this way or this way, and it's preference is up to you. But I do want to pop in a Game Boy Advance game. Now I have not. Again, I have a Game Boy Advance SP, so I have no reason. And I have a Game Boy Micro too. I have no reason to play a Game Boy Advance game on here. Link mode. You're the Link mode. All right. It's not like in my copy of Metroid Fusion apparently. I've had that game since launch, too, but I also haven't played it in forever. Here's another one. Let's see if Wario Land 4 will make a difference here. Here we go. And this is the original Game Boy Advance, and then you also have the SP 101, which does brighten it a bit, doesn't it? And then you have just analog. We'll make it the brightest. It'd be funny if they had like a burnt pixel, you know, the missing pixels for that just has like random missing pixels on there, you know, stuttering or something. This is just the beginning of the game here. Hey, you know, or like pulling the game out while the game was playing. Your friend, you know, like the Atari or the Genesis or whatever. It's like, oh, you're gonna break the game when you do that. I'm like, am I? Is that what happens? Got a few Game Gear games here. So let's try this X-Men game. It adds a little bit of a weight to it when you do this. But it looks like it's playing. That's good news. And I like this because I couldn't really play the Game Gear because there was so much ghosting going on. You'd move so fast and it would just blur. I couldn't see what was going on. Difficulty. Piece o' cake. I'll take it. Oh, and having this thing, it blocks the L and R buttons. Not that you're going to need your L and R buttons for Game Gear games. And then your start button is your kind of mutant power, I guess, or whatever. Again, I was always annoyed that Wolverine, like his claws were his mutant, you know, the mutant ability would, you know, go, it's like, no, that's not his mutant ability, he just has them. What kind of options are you going to give me for this here? Tools, nope. Settings, system, that, video, and then just display mode. And then it gives you a few options. You can do the original. Oh, boy. Yeah, this is when I tried it. But it's not going to give you that ghosting that Sonic would give you. Actually, let's find out, because I have a Sonic game right here. Yeah, oh, that's way cleaner. I'm not used to this. Because usually I play this and I'll be all like, not really exactly sure what's going on, because there's so much blur going on, I couldn't really see it. And then, of course, when you do the analog, then it just removes all scan lines, and you can play as Crush in this one. The Game Gear has Crush as an exclusive. This is a heel Crush. I gotta turn it up. This is his face music, but it's heel Crush with his face music. I'll play as Crush. Too funny. All right, about that time when I turned it off, that's when I reached out to my friend Mike. He's helped me out a ton in the past with just with like stuff, like Mr. type stuff, you know. And I knew that there was a way to play more games on here, like the jailbreak thing where you can add more ROMs onto this. So literally, maybe about half an hour. I stopped him for about half an hour. He kind of walked me through a couple of things. I loaded up the update that I needed on the SD card, and I can now load through the USB-C. And then with this, so right now I just have the two. I have the SG-1000 and the Super Nintendo, and they also have Game Boy, Game Boy Color. They have Game Boy Advance, Neo Geo, Game Gear, Master System. I had to grab the SG-1000 just for the uniqueness. They just launched Super Nintendo, and by the time this video launches, there'll probably be more. Maybe there'll be NES, maybe there'll be TurboGrafx 16, maybe there'll be something else. There's also like some arcade games that they're adding on here too, so very, very cool to see. Might even see like PlayStation 1 later. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, it's literally just, well, I can show you this, and yeah, you can just literally just add your own ROMs onto it, and then you can see a little loading screen at the bottom, and then almost in no time, here you go, and you can play, you know. So there's that. So that's up your alley. That is reason enough to grab one of these. I still like playing the physical, you know what I mean? I still like having the idea of playing the physical cartridges, so I'm still going to be hunting for physical cart. Yes, you can just load them up, and you're just like, oh, why would you play a physical cart when you can just play the ROM through the thing? And the answer to that is I can't tell you why. That's just the collector mentality, physical. I think it's because once I have something physically in the system, the iPod mentality. If you're loaded up with a million songs, you just hear the first part of the song to the hook, and then when the second verse starts, you're like, okay, I've already heard enough of the song, you move on. There's something about playing the cartridge that's in the system. It's like, I made the effort to play this because it's in the system and not just like, well, I died and I'm going to move on to the next game. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that. So, I love the fact they have Congo Bongo on here. And this is, there you go. The SG-1000 version of Congo Bongo. So several reasons to grab an Analogue Pocket. I'm okay to get one now. If I got one when it first came out, it would have been okay, and it would have been in my box of other handheld portable stuff. But now that you can do stuff like this on it, might just be worth looking out for when you get the chance to grab one for yourself.